Hello everybody, and welcome back to Halloween Week. In today's video, we're going to be talking about the very divisive movie Rob Zombie's Halloween, a remake of the John Carpenter film. Well, maybe not so much a remake, more like a remake and reimagining prequel all kind of rolled into one. Yeah, this film kind of gets a divisive rap. Some people liked what Rob Zombie was trying to do, others absolutely hated it, but I do think that there are some good things to it, and there's some definite bad things. I fall somewhere in the middle. Some of the things I like about it, I love Malcolm McDowell as Dr. Loomis. I think he was perfectly cast. Michael Myers is a complete badass, and there's some very intense sequences that put you on, the edge of your seat. However, there are some definite problems with this film, which we will get into. So sit back and enjoy Rob Zombie's Halloween. Unlike most remakes, this film doesn't just follow the same path as the original, but instead adds a lot of new stuff. The first portion of the movie is a prequel that focuses on the young Michael, where it tries to dive into why Michael Myers is a psychopath. However, this does bring us to the main problem with the movie, and it carries on throughout the rest of the film. In fact, I can pinpoint the exact moment within the first 3 minutes of the film where it goes wrong. Here, just watch.
Bitch, I will crawl over there and I will skull fuck the shit out of you!
Oh, I'll get the crutches for you. You did fucking loudmouth.
That's all that fucker does is cry.
Just about every single character in this film, outside of maybe Sheriff Brackett, Dr. Loomis, and maybe Danny Trejo for the 5 minutes he's in the film, is completely unlikable. I hate every single one of them. They're all very ditzy, annoying, or they're just complete pieces of shit sociopaths. I hate all of them. I want terrible things to happen to them in this movie. And this is a problem I've noticed with a lot of Rob Zombie's movies, is that he can't write a likable character to save his life. And if you are written kind of likable in one movie, then when you get to the next film, you're going to be turned into an unlikable prick. Just take, for example, Dr. Loomis. In this film, he's, sort of likable in this one. He's the only character I can get behind and root for. But in Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, throws that out the window, turns into an unlikable, irredeemable prick. And it's very frustrating to see Rob do this consistently throughout his movies. Yeah, so anyways, in the flashback portion, we see that Michael lives with a dysfunctional hillbilly family, and the movie hints why he becomes a psychopath because of his background. The family consists of his sister Judith, who's a bitch, his mom Deborah, played by Rob Zombie's wife Sherry Moon Zombie, her asshole boyfriend Ronnie, and little Angel Myers, who as we know would end up becoming Laurie Strode, but more on that later. We also see Michael getting bullied at school by the kid from Spy Kids, showing once again that every character in a Rob Zombie movie is a complete and utter asshole. Anyways, shortly after getting picked on, Michael finally snaps and kills the bully, and then he later begins his murdering spree, killing Judith, her boyfriend, and that asshole Ronnie. One thing I will say about this film is that Rob Zombie does make the kills as graphic and as brutal as possible. They feel kind of unsettling, make you think back to like an old Grindhouse film. Whereas in the original, John Carpenter showed a lot of restraint. Rob Zombie just is like, fuck that, getting right in your face. These are the kills, they're brutal, they're intense, and you definitely feel unsettled by the time they're done. So, I guess that's an achievement. So, after his murder spree, Michael is sent to Smith's Grove Sanitarium, where he meets Dr. Loomis, played magnificently by Malcolm McDowell. At first, things are going okay between him and Loomis, but over time, Michael starts to deteriorate and finally snaps and kills this asshole nurse. Because as I have stated before, every single character must be as unlikable as possible, because I guess decent people don't exist in this universe. After Michael snaps, his mom shoots herself, orphaning Angel in the process, and that basically wraps up the first portion of the movie, because after this, that's when the rest of the movie turns into a remake of Halloween, because before that it was just sort of like its own little unique prequel. As far as the first half of the movie goes, I do appreciate it for trying to do its own thing instead of just trying to simply retell Carpenter's vision. It takes a tone and it sticks with it. However, I do have my big problems with it. I hate all the characters, the dialogue at times is just absolutely awful to the point where it becomes comedic, and I do have an issue with Michael's origin. The thought of him just being the way he is because of some redneck family, it's not very interesting. It didn't really need like 40 minutes of us just listening to Ronnie and them just going kind of cuckoo crazy. It's just kind of lazy. It's just like, oh, it's because of his dysfunctional family. Well, that's incredibly simple and kind of lazy, but then again, why didn't his sister turn into a sociopath? You know what I mean? Also, I don't think the idea of him becoming a, unstoppable killing machine because of a dysfunctional family is nearly as interesting as not knowing why he became a complete sociopath from a seemingly normal family as we saw in the original Halloween. I just don't think it's as scary. The unknown is sometimes scarier than what's shown on screen. Anyways, after the initial killings, the movie starts up 15 years later where we see that Michael has been ingesting his steroids and growth hormones. I mean, look at how huge this guy is. He's built like a fucking tank.
I don't know what the hell you feeding him, but he is too damn big!
Tyler Mane is without a doubt the most imposing Michael Myers that has ever been put on screen. He's huge, he's intimidating. I feel like I would have a chance against the old Michael Myers in the original series, but when it comes to Tyler Mane's Michael Myers, if I saw that dude, I would run like hell because I would have absolutely no chance at survival. Soon after, we're introduced to Tyler Mane's Michael. He eventually escapes and heads back to Haddonfield. I should also point out that there does exist two versions of this movie, the director's cut and the theatrical. In the theatrical cut, Michael escapes by killing a bunch of cops who are escorting him. But in the director's cut, Michael escapes because some idiots working at Smith's Grove decide to bring a new patient into Michael's room and rape her in front of him, and he escapes that way. The scene is very disturbing in its own right, but I have to ask the question, who the fuck is hiring these people? Does nobody at Smith's Grove run background checks on their employees before hiring them? How do you think the job interview went? Well, Mr. Sociopath, after looking over at your file over here, your resume and such, and running a thorough background check on you, it's become apparently clear to us that you are in no way, shape, or form qualified to be working here. You clearly are, as I quote, a drunk asshole who likes to rape and abuse people. Which is exactly the type of person we want working here at Smith Grove. So congratulations, you're hired. You got the job. When can you start?
Monday after happy hour. That works good. I got a cross burning and shit afterwards, or before or afterwards, I don't fucking know. But yeah, I look forward to working with your patients and performing all sorts of acts on them.
Thank you so much. We look forward to working with you here at Smith's Grove, because here at Smith's Grove, we don't give a fuck about our patients. Anyways, after Michael escapes, this is where the movie starts to become more like the original Halloween, with Michael going around stalking Laurie and her friends. Although, it isn't done quite as well as when Carpenter did it. It's a lot more in your face, and the build-up just isn't quite there. Plus, as I've stated before, I really don't like any of the characters in this movie. I find Laurie and her friends absolutely annoying. Although I do give the movie props for bringing back Danielle Harris into the franchise. Although, I do have trouble buying the fact that she's a high school student, considering the fact that she was 30 when she was filming this movie. Anyways, if you've seen the original, then you know the basic idea of what happens. While a lot of it remains the same, they do tweak some stuff here and there. One key difference is that in this version, Michael kidnaps Laurie instead of just trying to kill her initially, so they can show her that she is a sibling. I actually kind of like this addition to the movie. It adds some new layers to Michael's character by showing that Laurie is, in essence, Michael's last connection to humanity that he has left. After trying to connect with Laurie, she stabs him and tries to escape. The chase scene here is well done. However, as I stated earlier, I could care less about what happens to Laurie in this version, whereas in the original she was a lot more likable. In the end, Loomis shows up and tries to save Laurie, but gets taken down by Michael, and in the end, Laurie shoots Michael in the head as the movie ends abruptly with her screaming. I'm not really feeling this ending. It's a bit too abrupt for me. I feel like the ending that suits this movie best is the alternate ending that they shot. In fact, it's the far superior ending, and it baffles me why they didn't go with that one as opposed to the one that they released that's in, the director's cut, theatrical cut, and so on and so forth. The alternate ending is by far the superior one. It's more emotional, there's a lot more depth to it. It's a bit more tragic too, because you see elements where Michael, he drops the knife, he kind of just stops. It's like he's finally, accepting the fact of what he's done, and then he just gets shot and gunned down. So it's a lot more tragic, there's more emotion to it, and it ends and it's given some time to breathe. Whereas this one, it's just like, oh, movie over. What? The alternate ending is the superior cut, so if you get the chance, check it out. It's on YouTube. Let me know what you think. Do you like that ending more, or do you like the one that's on the director's cut ending, or the theatrical cut? I don't know. What's ever on this fucking Blu-ray that I have. But the alternate cut is better. Just saying. And that about wraps up Rob Zombie's Halloween. I don't hate this movie, but I don't love it either. It's a mixed bag of a movie for me, like the original Halloween 2 was. There's stuff I like about it. I found the first part more interesting with young Michael as opposed to the second half where it's more like the original. Outside of Loomis and Brackett, I don't really like any of the characters. The dialogue at times is just plain awful. It's better than a lot of the sequels, but still not great. I commend Rob Zombie for doing his own thing and not trying to copy Carpenter, but I still think the original is a superior film. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this review. I hope you guys enjoyed this. Be sure to come back tomorrow as we take a look at Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Comment, like, subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. Thank you all so much for watching. Happy Halloween, and I'll see you tomorrow.